We give a nod tonight to a Boone County man whose basement is now a bobblehead museum.
23 News reporter Jim Haggerty shares how Daryl McFarlane amassed a collection of nearly 2,000 bobbleheads and how he plans to use it for a good cause.
July 10th, 2004.
That was the day Daryl McFarlane attended a Milwaukee Brewers game and got serious about collecting bobbleheads.
They were giving away a Gorman Thomas bobblehead as a stadium giveaway.
Since then, Daryl has collected just about every hockey bobblehead ever produced.
Right now, there's 1,677 in my collection. They're all displayed.
Daryl currently owns every bobblehead ever released by Rockford teams and organizations. The only one he has yet to find is the one of the Rock Valley College mascot.
So if anyone out there has it, I'd love to add it to my collection.
Daryl will soon use his collection to give back. Because his cousin died from cystic fibrosis, he plans to liquidate some of his pieces to raise funds to fight the disease.
And raffle those off, and all the money will go to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Bobbleheads were first made overseas in the 1800s. They then made their way to the U.S.
Bobbleheads really took off when manufacturing techniques allowed plastic bobbleheads to be made and customized.
Retailers say while some bobbleheads are worth a lot of money, the sentimental value many of them hold is priceless.
Family plays a big part of that, and so I think that's why, because it just creates good memories and family times.
Working for you in Boone County, Jim Haggerty, 23 News.
McFarlane also owns every bobblehead the Chicago Blackhawks ever released, believe it or not.
Yeah, he doesn't know what his collection is worth, but says he owns items that could sell for several $100s a piece.
Wow. And Phil Sklar from Guilford High School is the CEO of the National Bobblehead Museum in Milwaukee. So State Line has a long history of bobbleheads.
The more you know.
Yes.